Hello everyone, I'm Caillou, and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Mistake Island. This is the largest Grand Prix for MSEM so far, clocking in at a massive 34 players. So very excited to see this. I obviously won't be able to commentate every match, but I'm really excited to catch as many as possible. So today we're watching a round 1 match between Cyber Chronometer, who's on green-blue Anuran Tempo, which uses this card Anuran and counters. It's 2 mana. It can't be countered, and you draw a card for each different non-land or converted mana cost among non-land permanents you control. It's very, very powerful, just like in general, but especially with when you have stuff that makes tokens or you're curving out like this Portal Fracture, Mana Dorks, so on and so forth. So it can basically be 2 mana divination in like its base case, and it scales even better. So right now, their opponent, Plipster, is on Dredge, which is kind of the boogeyman deck last tournament. It ate a severe series of nerfs afterwards, but Plipster is still representing it. Plipster was also, I think, the only player to make top 8 with the deck last time, has retooled it, and is still playing it post-nerf. So probably looking to, cast... Oh, Darkrite Cultist in 2 sack to a Darkrite Cultist? Interesting. I was thinking the Brotherhood Conspirant, but maybe wants to hold on to that for something else. So he's going to sack the Darkrite Cultist, get the Demon. That puts on a very quick clock when you do it starting turn 2. Oh, and brought back the Unbound... I didn't see that Plipster hit the Unbound Remora. That would explain the Brotherhood Conspirant, because Brotherhood Conspirant plus Unbound Remora plus another creature allows you to, or plus 2 Unbound Remoras, allows you to just loop them. So one of the nerfs this deck ate was Unbound Remora's ETB used to be each player discards a card, not each player mills 4 cards. So with Brotherhood Conspirant, once your opponent was out of cards in hand, you could hard lock them by sacking an Unbound Remora and a Ceaseless Stalker and just looping them. So not a very fun play pattern. It's now been changed, but looking at this, like, turn 2 already having more than 10 power on board and threatening to swing. Cyber's Portal Fracture coming in a little bit too late. Intrepid can come down but can't block. Doesn't have any other board presence. This is looking like curtains for Cyber right here, unless they can pull something out. So is going to run out the Intrepid. Gets to tutor for a land, which will self-enable, allowing the Intrepid to animate next turn and block, but it won't be able to do it this turn, which is a big problem. So just fetching up a basic forest, that's surprising. I guess maybe, I feel like it should have other utility lands or dual lands other than the Monument of Queens, but it might be that Cyber just wants to turn off the life loss from the Shifting Glade, which makes sense. Yeah, so Plipster's just going to swing for the hills here, puts Cyber down to whopping 12, can now, okay, so it's going to Ombridu Goliath, Brotherhood Conspirant? Okay, I guess, can Brotherhood Conspirant plus Ombridu Goliath. I personally would have, Deformed Sanity there, discarding the Brotherhood Conspirant. Oh no, but it looks like is going to do the Brotherhood Conspirant, Ceaseless Stalker plus Unbound Remora looping, except this time, less debilitating. So mills Ceaseless Stalker and a Departed Evangel, because gets to bring back another Unbound Remora. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Cyber has any wipes. They can only put up 1 blocker. I guess 2 counting the Keen's Devoted. But then still takes 5 in the air and only needs 2 on the ground to kill. So as long as Plipster doesn't try to play a spell and doesn't give Cyber the opportunity to make scouts with the Portal Fracture, Plipster can just go in for the kill. So it looks like Cyber's probably going to play a Honor and Encounters to try and draw into an out. Not sure what that would look like. Oh, is going to Portal Fracture. Okay, he's going to Portal Fracture on their own Honor and Encounters, because it can't be countered, so it doesn't matter. So, and it gives Cyber an extra converted mana cost to draw off of plus 2 bodies. That's actually a really smart play. Good going there. Okay, so By the Sea is potentially useful here to create 2 more blocking bodies. Scion of Torrents can maybe do something. Honor Encounters. The problem is just the problem is only gets to survive for another turn, because Plipster swings in with everything. Cyber blocks all the ground creatures, or maybe blocks, let's say, Intrepid blocks the Demon, and then takes 3 from the Ceaseless Stalker or something. Okay, top deck's a Deformed Sanity, so decides to just cast another off of the first one. This also empties Plip's hand for Armbrew Goliath, so useful in that sense. Now the question is, what is Plipster going to take? You probably just take the... Because you know that Cyber... Do you take the Scion of Torrents, or do you take the By the Sea? I don't know that it... Yeah, okay, so it's going to take the Scion. I don't know that it matters, but I think that Scion is definitely... is the one that, if left around, can maybe edge Cyber back into this game, especially because it can block the Demon. So here we go, Plipster swinging for the hills. It's going to be interesting to see what Cyber's blocks are. So essentially, Intrepid on the Ceaseless killing it, Keen's chumping the Ombridu, and then Scouts chumping each of the Unbound Remoras. The Demon gets through and deals 5. And in response, the Plipster's just going to sack the Ceaseless Stalker to the Brotherhood Consprint, just to mill 2. Oh, and is going to play a Dread Resurrection, sacrificing the Unbound Remoras, but then the Unbound Remoras come back anyways. Yeah, that's really powerful. Just like the graveyard being a trivial source of card advantage is so powerful for Plip's deck. Like, I don't know how Cyber can try to outgrind at this point. So Cyber can make 2 more ground blockers with the By the Sea, and then I guess try to draw into another 2 token maker? I don't know. And yeah, no outs for Cyber there. Cyber's just going to concede. That was a blisteringly fast first game, and it shows that despite all of the nerfs that the Dredge deck ate, it's still more than a contender. Okay, going into game 2. Looks like Plipster has an unfortunate opening hand. Doesn't have any lands here. Cyber, meanwhile, has double mana dorks, which can curve into an early Scion of Torrents, which can hopefully... Like, double Scion of Torrents means that Cyber can at least trade with Darkrai Cultists, and can potentially just, start topping, all of Plipster's stuff. So yeah, I think that this is reasonable. Meanwhile, Plipster's hand has turn 1 DRC, but doesn't have much else. Really needs to top deck something good here. So yeah, both players opening up with their 0-1 of choice. Devon for Cyber, whose exile target card from a graveyard ability is definitely going to come in handy here. And Plipster opening up with the Darkrai Cultist, top decking the Ombridu Goliath. I think the funny part is, do you even want to sacrifice the Goliath to the... Do you even want to sacrifice the Goliath to the Darkrai Cultist, or do you just want to play it outright? I guess you might, because you can play Hazy Coppice, discard Unbound Remora, and then Ombridu plus Darkrai, and maybe that's more valuable, because then you get back the Unbound Remora as well. It depends on what Plip values. Okay, Cyber with the main phase Songjin. Gonna play it off the dork, get back the fetch. This does enable a turn 3 Scion of Torrents, which is kind of some of the crazier stuff you can be doing in this deck. So now, even if Plipster goes Darkrai Cultist into a 5/5, Cyber can just go, okay, Scion of Torrents, top your token, Unbound Remora can't attack into a Scion of Torrents. Suddenly the advantage is in Cyber's favor. Well, a second DRC means that Plipster doesn't have to give up... Oh, he's going to play Antithesis. Oh, this is actually really good. Gets to Mirage it and then kill both of the dorks, which means that Cyber can still turn 4 the Scion of Torrents thanks to Songjin, but then needs to draw another land in order for that to happen. Or, as it were, a mana ascetic. So Cyber, for the first time this set, going to be on the offensive, swinging in with this Songjin. So up here comes the mana ascetic, enabling the Scion of Torrents next turn. This turn, Plipster could still could definitely Ombridu plus Darkrai Cultist, bring back the Unbound Remora. Very much in business there. Looks like he's going to mill first. Doesn't hit anything that can be bought back from the grave. Does draw Departed Evangel though, which is another good aggressive creature. I don't think it's going to be relevant this turn. And I think playing the Oracle's Vision feels like kind of a bad move because it makes it so that you can't Ombridu plus Darkrai Cultist and then sack one Darkrai Cultist to the other. Though I guess what you can do is, because of Spires of Cult, you can... Okay, yeah, so just going to discard the Departed Evangel because that's card advantage anyways, can cast it from the grave. So DRC plus Ombridu Goliath. pretty decent, because now Cyber has to be wary of the 13/13, can't just attack in with Songjin, but it's probably now just gonna, yeah, okay, so we can cast Scion of Torrents off of the current suite, then play Lush Oasis, and top the Ombridu, swing in with the Songjin. Okay, here comes the Scion. Notably, actually, I guess is gonna just crack the fetch to trigger the Scion. And as expected, tops the Ombridu Goliath. Songjin continuing to put on the pressure, swings in for 3. Scion of Torrents just shy of a 2-turn clock on its own. Oh, and I guess isn't going to crack the fetch this turn, so that it can go Scion of Torrents and then get 3 triggers next turn because double Aetherize with the Mysterious Cataract. So yeah, goes Darkrite Cultist into... Oh, interesting. Yeah, so it's going to just sack the Darkrite Cultists to each other, discarding the Ombridu Goliath to create the demon, then going to cast the Departed Evangel. Unfortunately, what's going to happen here is Cyber can play Scion of Torrents, top the demon, top Departed Evangel, put Unbound Remora on top. Plipster can't play the Unbound Remora, and therefore is essentially time-walked, and then Cyber easily kills Plipster. Also has an additional 2 Scion triggers, so can top 2 more lands, so this is very over for Plipster. And yeah, Plipster insta-conceding there. Scion of Torrents, like, being repeated removal that also can technically time-walk Plipster, is one of the few things that can beat the explosiveness of the deck. As long as Cyber can also have a similarly explosive start, they're in good hands. Okay, and these players wasting no time getting into this game 3. Cyber is going to keep at 6. This is definitely... doesn't have a Scion of Torrents, so already this hand is looking a little bit more sus. And double Pain Lands is really not good in this matchup. Can go turn 1 Keen's... Shifting Glade, Keen's Devoted, and then Keen's Devoted... and then I guess, like, hold up Portal Fracture, but, like, I don't know. Plipster's start here is going to be pretty strong. Even at 5 cards, gets to go Spires of Cult, any Torment land, discard Putrid Lurker, play Putrid Lurker. Next turn, play Spires of Cult, Darkrite Cultist, Ombridu Goliath, and that's swinging in for 16 damage on turn 3. And yeah, after Cyber played the Keen's Devoted and passed, Plipster just swings in for 3 with the Putrid Lurker, and then, yeah, just goes Ombridu Goliath, Darkrite Cultist, what you gonna do about it? And, like, Plipster's like, I don't care about your counter magic, I'm out of cards. Interact with my board. Which, like, Cyber can't do. Cyber doesn't have the lands to cast any of this, and Scion of Flourishing, even if Cyber does get up to 5 mana somehow, is not a Scion of Torrents. And to cast anything, we'll have to start hemorrhaging life off these pain lands. I think that this is basically just game over for Plipster. Or, sorry, game over for Cyber, but we'll have to see how Plipster navigates this. Okay, so gonna swing for 12 with the Putrid Lurker plus Ombridu. Cyber can't block, because in that case it's basically Stone Raining themselves. Oh, interesting. Plipster is going to Darkrite Cultist on the Putrid Lurker. Gets back the Unbound... Oh, yeah, I didn't... Oh, yeah, because the Unbound Remora... Where did the Unbound Remora come from? I'm going to be honest, I completely missed that Unbound Remora was discarded. So yeah, gets that back. Like, what can Cyber even top deck? I guess you can do... Cyber... If Cyber top decks a land, can do the same Honor and Encounters plus Portal Fracture trick, but then takes 5 in the air from the Demon. I think that, yeah, this is just over. And Cyber hitting a land, but it's a fetch, which is painful. Yeah, I mean, has 4 mana, so you Honor and Encounters for 1. And I don't think Cyber has removal, so can't do anything. I mean, even if Cyber had removal, like, what do you do against facing down this board? And yeah, Cyber's just going to concede there. I think the problem is, they, like, both Cyber and Plipster have similarly explosive game plans. It's just that Cyber saying these matches decided entirely by mulligans, but Plipster can afford to mulligan more aggressively because that only strengthens their cards. Like, sure, I'll mulligan to 5. That means I have less cards in hand for Ombridu Goliath. Meanwhile, all of Cyber's explosive plays require multiple mana sources, so Cyber needs to have an explosive opener or 6, otherwise they can't really, like, they can't mull any lower. So I think that was really the deciding factor of this match, just how low can you go. And Plipster was like, I'm the limbo master, motherfucker. But yeah, thanks for joining me for this first match. I think this tournament is shaping up to be really exciting. I like some of them, like, I think everyone expected last tournament to be kind of the GP of blisteringly fast decks, but even with the very, like, even field that we have in the Grand Prix Mistake Island, there's still so many decks that are pushing the boundaries of the meta and forcing players to keep adapting. So I think that's super cool. I'm glad that we're getting to this point in MSEM. And yeah, hopefully you watch the rest of it. Until next time, this is Caillou signing off.